Hey everybody from down under. I don't know why I'm saying that. We're back for another episode of the Anime4ALL podcast. We're reviewing episode 5 of Frieren Beyond Journey's End. Uh Spirit Magic Helmet's here somewhere. I don't know where he's at. Hello? Oh lord. Did I disconnect from Discord?
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Today, the first day of the rest of your life, we are here. This is Spear. Our presence is dear, and we're going to bring you great cheer as we review the funny, fabulous, fortuitously built anime called Frieren.
Well, why he's gotta be fortuitously built?
Well, it's not unfortunate, right?
Guess it depends on how you view the world right now. I don't know how to respond to that, so this is how I chose to respond. Yeah, we're back. I think this is episode's called Shadow something. I forgot the name of the episode. I just watched it too. But yeah, we here. This episode is the first episode of I guess like a mini rest of the season that we're not gonna be jumping between towns, unless that changes next time. But this episode we get introduced to Stark, the male protagonist with this group of lovely young ladies. I'm just gonna read what Wikipedia has here because I don't think I did that for Flame. I think I did do that for spoilers. I don't think there's much that they get spoiled for him right now. Well, no, they tell us. Well, we know that his village was attacked. I guess I just don't know if Aizen said that there were demons that did it. Stark is a human warrior. After his village was attacked by demons, he fled and became Aizen's apprentice. At Aizen's instruction, he joined Frieren's party as their vanguard. Yeah, so basically, I didn't know what Stark's purpose here was. I saw his character design earlier on, thanks to the intro, but and also thanks to years of watching anime. I happened to get glimpses of Frieren over time. And I was like wondering what his purpose was, or what was he going to be joining. And I had thought I thought last episode we were going to get introduced to him because Aizen was the character we were following, so I assumed that Aizen had an apprentice. So I was like, oh, maybe Stark isn't his apprentice. Only for this episode to correct me yet again, and apparently Aizen is in fact, well, he was. Well, I guess no, like Stark still calls him master. Aizen is his master. He taught him the ways of the axe. So far, Aizen is an interesting character. He seems to get the whole cowardly, strong guy thing going, which I find funny because he's definitely stronger than he looks. He just hasn't killed anything yet. But apparently the episode begins with Frieren and Fern walking around as they do, venturing through town, and they come across a dragon. I think it's like Solar Blade or whatever, like dragon, and apparently they don't.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
Solar Blade dragon. That like they are trying to fight, and only for. Well, no, correction. Let me back up real quick. Before they encounter the dragon, they actually are dealing with a monster that apparently is able to. Well, no, they still do the two town thing. Never mind what I'm talking about. The first town isn't really all that there. We see Frieren and Fern walking through there doing some shopping, and apparently Frieren was intending to just pass through the town. But they caught wind of there's a monster somewhere around this town, drawing people into the woods, like a creepy old ghost story with ghosts of their loved ones. And Fern hears this, and Fern, Frieren intended to actually avoid this thing, but Fern was like, no, we gotta help these people because apparently no one else would. So like Frieren, gives in, which I guess it didn't take much pulling on her arm. I guess one thing I want to point out too with Fern in this moment, specifically here when she's like, she wants to help these random people, which is going to just add more time with them to them staying, staying here in this city, this town. I find it interesting because Fern, up to this point, had been, urging Frieren to let's move on. We can't just stay here for too long. But she was willing to help total strangers that she never met a day in her life. Something that Fern wouldn't
Mhm.
have suggested before now. So I mean, yeah, like even Frieren brings up that like she has changed too a little bit. But they go in the woods and then like Frieren brings the fact that she knows what this monster is because she fought one and killed one prior. Because apparently this thing had the ability to throw illusions at you as a form of ghost, and apparently when she first encountered it, her master Flamme was the person that she saw, and apparently she was begging for her life. But not only does Frieren say that, she also adds on a comedy bit of like, because she's also begging for her life, which is not an unusual occurrence. Fern then asked, "Wait, why is her begging for her life not an unusual occurrence?" Only for Frieren never to answer the question.
Yeah, and they just kind of cut to the next scene. They're like, anyway, do you think that that's like a little bit of a foreshadowing of that, like there's some dark stuff in her past? Or maybe dark stuff that she didn't realize was dark stuff until later? Because she's Fern's too, like, I don't know, autistic to know that terror is valid.
I want to say, I don't think she's autistic. I think she's just really, really carefree. Like, I
I don't
mean,
know. The spectrum is a huge thing.
there was in the manga apparently the scene between Fern and I only saw this because of Wikipedia, but the scene between Eisen, Fern, and Frieren when Frieren was asleep on Fern's lap when he was talking to Fern. Apparently he calls her a really carefree girl. I don't know if there's. I know you want to. I know you want to just poke fun at me because calling her autistic is going to cause me to say something. I just don't know if I
Yeah,
want
that's
to.
exactly what I was doing, just so you know.
I just want to say, like, they say that she is in fact carefree. I just want to point that out for people who don't know. Just saying, just in general, just out there, she's really carefree. But I do
Carefree is a
understand.
really interesting way to say don't give a shit, but yeah.
I think she gives a shit on occasion.
Shits have been given on occasion, yes.
but no.
There has been some distribution of shit. Yes.
Need to get some Pepto Bismol. Wait, that's not for. Never mind. Moving on.
Jesus.
But after Frieren says nothing about her master, again, I guess to answer your question, I don't know. I kind of took her saying that about her master as some throwaway line. But maybe there is something darker. I don't know. Typically, there will be something darker in a character's past, but I don't know if Frieren has that much darkness in her past. I mean, she's been living for 1,000 years, we assume. So there's got to be something messed up in her past that we don't know about, but I don't know. Um, but after that, but before that, actually, during one of the during like Fern does have a dream about Hyder, and apparently Hyder kind of just joking around on how he'll haunt her in the and this happened at the very beginning of the episode, but he was joking around that he'll haunt Fern and she was a bad girl. Only for
And
Fern to
she's like,
kind of
what if I am a bad girl? You gonna come see me? You gonna see your bad girl? And he was like, how?
Was that supposed to be a Bill Clinton impression?
No, I don't know what that was. I was actually doing that was actually a callback to Bill Hicks, but you wouldn't know that.
Like I'm missing out on something. Okay, but she has a dream about Hyder. Don't worry, I'm not all that concerned about it.
No, but she was saying, like, I liked the little humor that she had there, where she was like, she's like, "Are you saying that if I'm a bad girl, you're gonna come see me?" You know, like it was a good thing. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, you said it, like, she says, like, she kind of turns around on him saying, like, also, if you see me if I'm bad, then he's like, never mind, you're a good girl, I might even see you anyway. But I find that kind of a cute moment between those two, but it's kind of funny.
And she's like, if I'm a good girl, will you come treat me like I'm a bad girl?
I find it interesting that these had this scene play out at the very beginning of the episode before we even knew about an illusion monster that uses your I guess your memories against you. Because she's like because like Frieren tells her about all of this about what the monster is capable of and how he eats people, and he's like would you be able to? 'Cause he tells her how to dispel these illusions because they were in her book that she's reading, which is interesting
Mhm.
that they keep bringing that fact she's actually reading now. I'm wondering if this is going to culminate into something. Um, but she's reading like all you gotta do is just shoot a magic energy bullet through them to dispel the magic. And if everyone's like, "Are you sure you'd be able to do it?" And then Fern's like a somebody who's like all believing her own hype. I am the hype, believing her own hype. Um, he says like, "Yeah, I could do it." And then Hyder shows up, which was obvious was going to happen. But Hyder
Yeah.
shows up, and he's like, "Oh, like you have become a great mage," so and she's like, he's there, and she's about to fire, and then he keeps on talking to her, and he's like, how does he know this stuff? He shouldn't be able to. And I guess like Freeman's like, oh, you need help? Looks like you do. Pulls out her staff only for Himmel to show up in front of her. But the funny thing with Himmel is the fact that like he's like, oh, I thought it would have been Flame. Maybe this means I have changed. And then all the Himmel ghost says is shoot me. And she's
Mhm.
like, that's so like him. I'm like, what? Like, how often did he tell you to shoot him when he was alive? So she
All the
shoots the
time.
obviously. She she shoots the ghost, and apparently the demon whatever is like revealed. I didn't get a good look at it because it happened so fast. But I thought it was a white, long-haired ghost thing, and they destroy it basically, and that's the end of that. And then when that happens, they're walking a little bit further, and then all of a sudden the dragon just comes down, causes more havoc, and they're trying to dodge the dragon. They're trying to like they didn't want to deal with it, but the dragon was being an a-hole, like dragons do, um, trying to kill them. And then they managed to finally get on loose side of it. And then like Freeren's like, this is a really strong dragon, and she happens to notice that there is a spell book in its hoard. Obviously, she wants that spell book. And she's like, well, we gotta deal with the dragon first. And then Fern sheepishly grabs her by her pieces of her cloth, and Fern's like, you know what? You're right. Maybe we shouldn't. And then they disappear until the next town. I just find it funny, like how like Fern was so like, I'm gonna do this. I'm a badass. And then also the dragon comes down, and Fern just reverts back to her initial disposition of being afraid.
Mhm.
But I thought it was cute. That was they didn't need to do that, but it was awesome. Um,
That was a nice detail. I liked seeing like a strong reaction out of her for once. I thought that was nice.
but out of Fern,
Out of both of them. But yeah.
I don't know if I saw a strong reaction out of Frieren. I think Frieren just backed down because Fern was afraid. I think
Mm.
I think Frieren is that type of a gal that sees adventure and then grabs the bull by the horns per se.
Yeah.
But they back down, and they gotta figure out what they're gonna do. So they stay in the town on next. Apparently this dragon is attacking, or hasn't attacked actually by this point for a while now. And they start learning. Apparently, at some point earlier, before Frieren leaves Eisen tells her that you might need somebody that's really strong physically, like a warrior. Take my apprentice. He's here. And Frieren apparently asks, is he strong? Then they cut away from that scene the first time. Um, and then like they're looking around apparently for Eisen's apprentice. Stark is his name. And then an old lady finds both Fern and Frieren and tells them that Stark wants to see them. And then and Frieren's like, oh well, that saves me a trouble. And I'm just sitting like, how does Stark know you're here? Like what? Uh, but
I
basically,
wondered that too, but I imagine that Eisen, my headcanon was that Eisen like gave him a heads up or something. But that's not possible either because he didn't know that Eisen put her up to it.
Well, actually, I think later on, I'm guessing how he knew because he says that like, "Why'd you bother the dragon?" But basically, to pause on that real quick, the old lady finds them, brings them to Stark, and then like basically she says like, this is Stark, these are Frieren, and he recognizes Frieren by her name and realizes that she was one of Aizen's companions. And at first, apparently Stark thinks that well, Stark acts like a cool guy. I'm using the word act. You know what's gonna happen next. He acts like a cool guy with Frieren, and Frieren tells him what she's here for. And at first he thinks that apparently Aizen sent them to bring him back to Aizen, but that wasn't the case. And apparently Stark says, "I'm not gonna go back anyway." Um, then like but then when he brings up when they bring up the dragon, he tells the old lady to leave so they can have like a few moments alone to talk. And then
Mm-hmm.
Frieren tells him like, we need to deal with this dragon because I want to get this spell book. And he's like, why? And Frieren just uses the same old excuse of like, I was praised for my magic from a weirdo. And Stark is like, really? That's it? And then apparently Frieren's like, yeah, that's it. He's like, it's stupid. Like, yeah, I know. Uh,
Okay.
but only for like like he's like, oh well, what do you need me to do? And she's like, I just need you to hold. Well, no, he says like, well, the dragon should be no problem for somebody like you, right? And he's like, no, you just gotta give me 30 seconds. And he's like, 30 seconds, is that all? And then immediately the facade drops, and he's like, do I have to be the one that does it? And
Uh-huh.
Fern is apparently unimpressed.
Not me. Woohoo.
Apparently Fern is unimpressed at this point, and and apparently Frieren knew that apparently this guy was a fraud, quote unquote fraud. Um, because apparently the story that this town is like he strolled in when this dragon attacked them, and apparently what they saw, which is funny, what they saw was him battling a dragon in a fierce fight, and the dragon left because he didn't want to deal with them. But apparently, what really happened
Mm-hmm.
was that Stark was just afraid and he couldn't move, and the dragon just got tired and left. But it looked like he had fought the dragon to a standstill. I don't know how they didn't. They must have had their eyes closed. I don't know what happened. But then they start treating him like a hero because the dragon apparently never came back. Which was an interesting little thing that they bring up later. I was like, I wonder why the dragon hasn't attacked the town again, because it wasn't like he did anything.
I think that was an important question. I think that like we need to know the answer to that. I don't think that they would. I don't think the writers were like, huh, this is kind of a plot hole. Let's point it out to the viewers. There's got to be a reason that they brought that up.
But like Frieren says that like, well, it's possible the dragon just got bored and moved on. But I will
Mm-hmm.
say that that doesn't really make sense because the dragon is still hanging around close by. If it got bored, it
Mm-hmm.
would have moved on to very far away. It wouldn't have stayed so close by. Um, but basically, Frieren, like gives Stark an ultimatum, like you got this much time to decide what you want to do. If you want to come with us or not. And then Frieren walks away. Fern, unimpressed, goes with them. I shouldn't say unimpressed, more like she's judging him hardcore for being a
Mm-hmm.
fraud. They learn the town really loves him and they believe in him and whatnot. Fern doesn't like this. And then Freeman's like, well, he's like he's not like a total fraud. Like I saw some potential in him, and I saw why Eisen took him. And then we cut back to Eisen and Freeman talking, and she's like, well, is he strong? And then Eisen reveals an interesting piece of dialogue that I wasn't anticipating from him. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
heck, I heard a Discord buzz. I'm not sure what that was from.
That was my. I pulled a USB port out of my computer.
Oh, I thought that was me. I thought someone was trying to talk to me. Okay.
No, sir.
um, but Eisen reveals that apparently that him and Stark are the same. Basically, Stark was a coward that ran from his town, his hometown, when it was attacked, and he ran away and never went back. Apparently, Eisen did the exact same thing. Um, but Eisen got stronger as a result, and Aizen taught Stark everything that he knew to make him stronger. And Frieren says, "Oh, well, that's all I need to know." And then Frieren knew this information, but apparently didn't want to tell Fern directly. And instead, like as they're walking back to their after dinner, they're walking back to their village. They're hearing a loud bang in the distance. And then Fern's like, "What is that?" And at first, I thought that may have been a dragon coming to attack, but apparently that wasn't the case. It was actually Stark. But Frieren says like, "Well, why don't you go check on him? I'm gonna go to bed." And then Fern walks over, and then we see Stark like not building, but chopping a fissure through a mountain. And we saw the fissure behind him earlier on, and I remember seeing that variant being like, "Did he do that?" Answer to the question is yes, because you see him later on training with his axe, chopping that fissure into the thing. And I gotta say, the way they're animating him and his strength is wild to me. Never seen, because it looks like there's a little bit of detail with with his swing, where you see him, you see the attack light up the sky for some reason, and then after the dust clears or like that, there's like a redness to the chop that he did, almost like that he melted the stone over there, or it turned into magma for a quick second, and then it's cold. I thought that was interesting because I'd never seen physical strength animated like that. It makes it seem like he's so strong that even the earth doesn't like stand in his way. But I thought it was really cool that apparently he's really strong. It's just that he's a coward. Fern sees this and she's like, "Oh, you're training," and that's where the episode ends. And I kid you not, I yelled at the screen and said, "Oh, you gotta be kidding me!"
Really?
Yes,
Why?
I wanted more.
Well, yeah.
Like I could feel the ending of the episode coming. I just didn't want to believe it. And that's why I said, "You gotta be kidding me!" Like they blue balled me again. Like,
Mm.
it was a good episode. I liked the introduction of Stark. He seems unassuming at first until you realize what he's capable of. I'm actually interested in seeing a fight scene with him now because I want to see like how they're gonna animate him fighting. Just based off the fact that okay, he seems really strong. Apparently, for some reason, it might have something to do with the axe he's using. I'm guessing that thing's made out of dwarven steel. Considering who his master was, but
Made out of something pretty hardcore. It can cut through entire caverns.
I don't think it's just an axe. I think Stark is just freaking strong. I'm not sure how strong.
Okay, but you can be as strong as the universe, but when you hit a axe into a thing, you know what I mean? Like,
Now, I'm not discounting. I'm just saying. I don't think it's just
going to break at some point. Do you know what I mean?
Isn't dwarven steel tough though? I mean, that's what it's made out of.
I'm guessing it's more like some supernatural metal, like mithril or something. Yeah.
Like I'm just saying that. Like I don't think it's like one's better than the other of the pair. I think he's really strong. I don't think that axe would have cut through that stuff by itself. I could be wrong, but considering Aizen taught him.
Yes, of course, you also have to be strong. Do you know what I mean? But like, I'm guessing there's something special about the axe that makes it not break when you attack. Like, oh, I don't know, like a mountain with it. You know.
I don't know. Sometimes in anime, like I mean, Goku punched the freaking mountain and it blew up. I'm not gonna get into that. I'm just saying, like it's just anime. But I understand what you're talking about. There's probably some real grounded.
But there's at least an in-universe explanation with an anime. You know, why they have superpowers.
No, sometimes energy just exists and they're capable of using it. No one's really explaining where chi comes from. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. Don't get mad at me. I'm just saying.
Jesus.
I had to get that in there before he blew his stack, because he typically does when I fight back on something.
Oh, now you're gonna make me look like a horrible monster.
I'm having a good time over here.
I see how it is.
No, calm down. Again, like Stark, uh, I love that this episode is giving more personality to Fern. Not that she needed it. I like spunky characters like her, so hey, more her having attitudes would be funny. I do love the pouting moment where Frieren's like, well, I
Still
mean,
there?
huh? What?
Jeremy, are you actually still there?
I'm still here. What happened? Huh? Hello?
I can't hear you, Jeremy. Oh, I know why I
Hello?
can't hear you. Go ahead, say something.
Hello?
That was my fault. I'm sorry.
Yeah, me panicking there for a minute. I had some tech issues recently.
You know what? Here's how stupid I am. I muted the sound on my computer so that you wouldn't hear the beep again because I was going to pull the USB port out again. I didn't want to disturb you. And then when I did it, I didn't think about the fact that that by pulling it out and muting it, that I would also not be able to hear you because I'm not very bright apparently.
No, you're smart. That sounded sarcastic. I did not mean for that to sound sarcastic. I apologize.
It's fine.
Again, like Fern, want more of her. Can't wait to see whatever Stark's gonna bring to this group. Apparently Stark. I'm actually kind of curious because like up to this point we hadn't had like motivations for characters to go back to where they came from. It sounds like Stark could have a motivation if it sounds like he abandoned his town. It sounds like the things that attacked. I mean, according to the movie, it was demons, but it sounds like the things that attacked his hometown might still be there, considering that he ran.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a possibility we might see where he came from at some point, and you know he might be able to save his hometown. That's cool. I guess I will hand the mic to you. I don't really got much more to say. Love the episode.
Are you kidding me?
Can't wait to see more.
Okay. All right, give me a sec. You talked for less than 3 hours.
Yeah.
I liked the line at 147 when Eisen said, "It's funny how much that 1/100th has changed you."
But yeah, that was kind of funny.
I thought it was it had sort of an electric response on Frieren because she went like, she kind of gasped when he said it and looked at him like, I don't know, like she was taken off guard by it somehow, which was kind of interesting to me. Like, you know what I mean? That she's acknowledging how quickly she's changing. Do you know what I mean?
I mean,
Does that make sense to you?
I mean, yeah, but she said that 1/100, like, well, I wouldn't say that much longer, that much longer ago, but like, she said it like almost, I wasted this minute part of my life, kind of, when she had initially said it. Or like, I should say, she more like said like, this is such a minuscule thing, it doesn't really matter to me, like, y'all bore me. But you know, when he brought it back up again, he said it in a snarky manner of like, huh, one of the 100, huh? And then she, of course, she's gonna be taken aback by it because I don't think she's thought about that since she's been traveling with Fern.
Oh yeah, that's pretty fair.
I mean, because even I guess to add on to that real quick before I shut up here. I mean, she even says something more interesting when she's traveling with Fern, and Fern's like, I spent like half my life with you, you know, and it's like,
yeah, that was the next thing I was going to bring up. Then she says like, no, you're good. Then she says that, and I was like, huh, you know what I mean? That hit her. That seemed to hit her hard as well, I thought.
I mean, when then she retorts back with like, well, it's gonna be more time spent with me, like, here on out. Which I guess is also interesting because like at first she didn't want to travel with anybody or forge a relationship. now here she is forging a relationship with somebody.
Hmm. It's funny that the excuses she gives herself for why she does it. She'll be like, "Yeah, because she's scary," and I'm like, "You're not scared," you know.
But yeah, I just kind of laugh at it. I mean, who knows? Like, I mean, Frieren's tolerance for the pouty face could easily just be, she doesn't like seeing Fern upset. Because I mean, a lot of the times that Frieren calls Fern scary, it's really just whenever Fern's throwing a fit. Well, I shouldn't say fit, but like Fern does her pouty face basically of like she's upset, and Frieren doesn't like seeing that. I think that's really what it mostly attributes to. She just doesn't want to say that she doesn't want to see Fern upset, but I think she'll get over that eventually.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought that was an insightful moment where Frieren was kind of realizing how fast her life is changing. I covered the bad girl line. At 5 minutes, I thought it was kind of touching, and it's a little subtle, but I thought it was kind of touching that now like we have this little switch of roles where Fern is sleeping against Frieren, and Frieren is studying a book because usually it's been like kind of like Fern is the mother figure, you know what I mean, and Frieren is the response is the Fern is the mother figure and the responsible one, and Frieren is a lazy bum. And I'm not saying that she's necessarily being lazy, but like it was a moment where like you could see Fern in the more motherly role. You know what I mean?
You said Fern when you meant Frieren. Still, I know there are
Um,
two F names. I'm just saying.
yeah.
Oh, I'm hearing a plane.
Okay, so then let's see. And then you have that moment where Fern says, "The biggest difference between you and me is that I'm a good girl." And given that they specifically called out "good girl" earlier, um, that to me sounded like it was a promise that she was going to be meeting her.
Hmm?
That I'm sure that she was going to be meeting the corrupt priest. It says the difference between you and me is that I'm a good girl, and we already know for a fact that um, she's going to come see her if she's a good girl. He's going to come see her if she's a good girl. So that was like sort of like an 100% confirmation that one way or the other, we would be meeting her in that episode. We would
Sorry,
be
I
meeting
knew
him
you
in that
saying
episode.
her, and like it's like screwing my brain. Sorry, I think I know you're talking about
I'm sorry.
Hyder. Sorry, I'm just
Yeah,
like I'm.
she's talking about. I'm talking about Hyder. I'm talking about how like it's basically a promise that we're gonna be meeting Hyder in this episode, in some shape or form. Even in this case, even though it's an illusion, and we know that because we know that because he said, "I'll come see you if you're a good girl. If you're a bad girl," and she said, "What if I'm a good girl?" And the implication here is almost that like I'll come see you if you're a bad girl. I'll come haunt you if you're a bad girl. If you're a good girl, an evil version of me will come haunt you.
Yeah, I get that. I don't know
You know,
why. Like I knew what you were talking about. I think my brain was trying to process it in real time, and for some reason there was like a.
that is entirely my fault, and I'm sorry.
I mean, I feel bad. Okay.
What?
No, I was just saying like it shouldn't have been that big of a deal. It really wasn't. I just don't know why my brain had a hard time processing it. I was like, it was like one of those like machine just stopped. But I'm not gonna focus on that. Um, I
Yeah.
thought I had something to say, but I guess I didn't. So
What did you think about the similarity in the name Eisen and the fact that these spirits are called Einsam in the episode where Eisen is like so important?
I think that was just a coincidence. I don't
Yeah.
know if there's a meaning behind Eisen that I'm not aware of. Let me slip me Eisen meaning. Nope, Eisen just means iron in German.
Yeah. But the fact that they called them Einsen seemed somewhat interesting given the
I guess I've heard that before. I didn't mean to stop you. It's just
you're fine. I thought it seemed somewhat relevant given that, like, I don't know, he was an important part of the episode, and the authors must have known that there was at least some sort of suggestion going on there, you know. Anyway, um, I once had to shoot on that illusion of my master begging for life. Master often begged to die. Interesting story out here. Frieren says Himmel. Oh, I thought it was interesting too that the show pick pointed out that her seeing Himmel was like sort of a sign of character development. She's like, "Oh, I'm seeing Himmel. That's interesting. That's different. That's a sign of something for me." I like this. Goes back to a personal preference for me. I really like it when fantasy shows or anything in the fantasy genre like creates a situation where the main character is meets an enemy that is designed around developing their character. Like your encounter with that character is going to change you and make you become a different person from your experience with it. Does that make sense to you?
A character development moment happens in the middle of a fight.
Yeah. So like in this case, like it's not really about the threat. Like I can't even tell you what the threat to their lives is. Like it doesn't. It's not clear to me how their life is in danger with these things.
I mean, well, they're not in danger, but he uses illusions to draw his prey in to eat them.
Oh, to eat them.
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't 100% clear on that. It seemed like the danger factor was so played down. So they're not, but you said it yourself just now, like they're not in danger, really. You know what I mean? Like the danger here is very minor. And I like enemies like that because the focus can be on, like, how is this enemy growing the character?
Well, I mean,
Does that make sense?
yeah, I mean, but Frieren brings up that she's already killed one of these before.
Right.
Back when Flame was the thing that she saw.
But that only continued to emphasize how much this is growing the character because she was like, oh my gosh, like that knowledge, that prior knowledge, A, plays down the danger of the enemy itself, and B, like brings emphasis to the fact that she's growing. You know what I mean? Which is the real point of the scene. Do you dig my ditch?
I ain't digging no ditch. How dare you? I catch your drift. I don't know why you said digging or ditch. That was a new one for me.
Oh, that's they use that line in the Tick. He goes, "Do you dig my ditch?"
I would say no. I am not digging no ditch. No, if not for you or anybody. I just walk off. Scene just becomes awkward. Exactly what I would have done.
Oh. In the episode, they go, "Yeah, definitely, yeah," at that line. So anyway, it's just a moment of appreciation there for how I love when characters necessarily grow as a byproduct of like their encounter with an enemy. I think that's like one of my favorite type of enemy moments in a show. When you can have that moment. All right, I'll keep going. I don't understand why the mountain pass was safe. You just explained that to me. I like at 1202, like they're just kind of chilling out, you know, checking out a dragon's lair, no big deal. They're just up there, like they're not scared. They're like, oh, look at that! I've never seen a dragon before. Yeah, it's a dragon. Isn't that interesting? Yeah. So what do? We hit it really hard. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll do that.
Wait a minute.
Uh-huh.
Wait, were they in the dragon's den already?
The dragon was asleep next to a big pile of treasure, so I would say that's some form of den-like environment for a dragon, right?
I mean, yeah, but no. But basically, what I was saying is like, I thought I remember her looking at the spell book and her not grabbing it.
Yeah, she hadn't quite grabbed the spell book yet.
My real question is, why didn't she just grab it then? She would have no need to kill the dragon.
I think they thought they would be able to kill it, and they had this need to do a good deed.
Yes, I just not realized that if they were in front of the book that she wanted, I'm surprised she just didn't grab it. But okay, whatever. I'm not that hung up on it. Just something I just realized.
Mm-hmm.
I love the animated like encounter with that dragon though. It was like, the dragon wasn't like animated grandiosely like some dragons typically are. This one was kind of just I guess a normal fairy creature that woke up, and they were just running from it because they were afraid of it, because like mages aren't suited to deal with dragons from the way they made it sound. Apparently, dragons,
which is strange because they seem to be like they're planning to participate in the killing of this dragon.
Yeah, I mean, they need. I think with the way the way Frieren was talking, like she needs cover, and I'm guessing Fern can't give her that cover. Like she needs something to deal with it. She needs something that can actually.
Someone's going to be in the front getting their ass kicked, and they're going to focus on Frieren, and she's going to be like, do, I'm a charge in my attack.
I mean, give me more magic circles. That's all I really care about. I already said this before. I love it in these magic shows where magic circles show up, because it's really freaking pretty. Like, I don't know what they're doing or like what they are smoking. They need to keep doing it, because I'm telling you, those things they're probably the prettiest thing I will say in a magic fantasy show period. Like, I think they are the nicest looking aesthetic for it, because like even when the attack comes out, they can get really colorful and very, wavy lines. It's very it's stunning. I think when it comes to like energy based attacks, whatever you want to call it, I think magic does it the best. That's just my opinion, but I think magic does it the best. Again, I'm in it for the spectacle of it all. I already said this before.
Yeah. All right. I love that their attack, like, not only did it not succeed, but like it barely woke up the dragon. The dragon lay there with its eyes closed for a little bit, going, oh, do I really have to wake up? And finally it was like, all right, I'm gonna wake up, but like I'm not gonna like it.
I thought that was kind of usually have a barrier for that. I mean, like, not barrier, but like, aren't they I wouldn't say immune, but like, no, dragons normally don't get affected by magic all that much anyway. Like, they're like one of the things out in the world that just don't care.
Don't you think that she would have at least known dragons are immune to magic? I feel like
I'm not saying it's immune.
Frieren would have at least known that. You know what I mean? I don't think she would have attacked if she thought they had no chance whatsoever. but I think she thought she had a heck of a lot more of a chance.
I don't think that it's that the dragons are immune. I don't think that dragon was immune. I just think that this dragon scales themselves is provided. They provide a much thicker hide for her to have to pierce.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike a human being, that if they get hit with, they get knocked out. I was saying, I think like normally dragons, they're not the easiest thing to, one, hit with magic, two, kill with magic. Get out of here, you band invader. That's all I had to say.
Okay. I like that the Grimoire spell that they're fighting a dragon to get is one that lets you see through clothes, and that Frieren doesn't see the awkwardness or the privacy issue behind that in any way, shape, or form. It's just perfectly fine for her.
The way I read that was actually because she even goes into detail. It's really just about what the user sees as clothing. So it sounds like, from the way that she has saying that, it sounds like this spell could be used for, isn't to see through clothing, is to see the things that, like, I guess, like, if she saw like a blanket as a piece of clothing, she could use a spell to see through it. It sounds like it's mostly just about perception. So I'm guessing, I don't know. This is just this is absurd if this is actually how this works. Maybe she could see through barriers that normal people couldn't see through. I had no idea. On top of that, she doesn't use every spell that she collects. She just collects spells of. She considers it a weird spell. Basically, what she said. It's a weird spell, and I want it. But I gotta respect her for it. I mean, regardless of how weird it is, it's like, you know, she's got a hobby. Gotta respect her hobbies.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I got one more thing.
I agree, but for her, like, it's still. I still think she's not acknowledging the little problem with peeking through people's clothes here. I think she's thinking it would be a useless spell except I could check for weapons. Do you know what I mean? I don't think she's registering the social awkwardness of a spell that makes people naked. You know what I mean?
Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
There's a thing. That's good to know.
She's an elf. A lot of time, elves are naked. They don't see.
Oh, we don't know if that's true in this universe. We know exactly one elf, and she's been thoroughly clothed in every scene.
I'm just talking about in general. I think it's like, I don't think elves. Wait, was there another elf I don't remember seeing?
No, there's no. I said there's been exactly one elf in the show so far, and that elf has been thoroughly clothed.
Oh, sorry, I'm completely. That went over my head. Sorry.
You're fine.
I'm talking about Frieren.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, again, we don't know where she's come from either. You know, like, there's a possibility that maybe clothing isn't something. Not like she doesn't like clothing. It's more like, I don't think they see nudity as a huge thing, you know, as humans do. That's my headcanon. I don't know. I've seen elves typically fully nude and other things before, so I feel like it's just a part of it. Granted, that doesn't downplay the. It's kind of funny that she doesn't really see the problem with it. I don't think she's gonna use it, even if she was just even if she looked for weapons. I feel like she's got some tact. I don't think she's completely tactless. I would hope.
She's pretty tactless. I mean, it sounds like she's borderline completely tactless until very recently.
Again, I don't think she sees the big deal about nakedness. But basically how carefree she is, I feel like, yeah, she being naked isn't like, she probably wouldn't mind being naked. She just doesn't do it because it's a social faux.
That'd be interesting. That'd be an interesting scene.
I mean, some people find Frieren hot. See the fan art?
No, I'm thinking the scene where she like learns that nudity isn't acceptable. You mean I have to wear clothes? Yes, you idiot. Like, what are you doing? Get some clothes on. What difference does it make? I'm not cold.
Oh dear. I'm not
Your
cold.
nipples would say otherwise, but you know.
Completely bare. I'm not cold. I'm using a warmer spell. Where'd you get that? It's like just recently, actually. Okay,
Mhm.
moving on. It's gonna live rent free in my head now. You feel that?
Is it?
It may not. I'm just saying that for right.
Okay. It's interesting to hear Stark refer to Frieren as an acquaintance of Eisen. That would imply that Eisen has spoken of her to him in a way that implies that she is an acquaintance to him and nothing else in particular.
What's wrong with being an acquaintance? I feel like he sees her as a friend. I just think he, like, I don't know.
But it's interesting that when whatever Eisen told Stark about Frieren and his relationship with her, Stark left that interaction with the impression that we were dealing with an acquaintance here.
I guess. I mean, I don't really. I don't know if acquaintance is well. I mean, he said acquaintance, so I just really nothing to fight there. I don't know if that's a bad thing or maybe he meant friend. I don't know. There's no telling what Eisen told him. And with the interaction, I guess they wouldn't exactly the friendliest.
Yeah, but doesn't that make you kind of think that, like, I mean, everybody's been talking nonstop about like how she's grown as a character. That kind of made me feel like that like part of this implication here is that like she's been remembered in a fairly as a fairly brutal person that's not really exactly a friend by definition. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I feel like acquaintance isn't a bad thing. At least in my book. And it's not going to be the top thing I want to be called by somebody. I'm not sitting there saying that. I'm just saying I don't know. I feel like people are down on them being an acquaintance because you kind of become an acquaintance before you become a friend in the first place. I get the point
Yeah,
you're
but you
trying to
know
make,
they
but I'm
when
just
you
saying.
spend 10 years with somebody and you come out of it and you tell someone about the experience and they chalk you up as an acquaintance, that does start feeling like,
I feel like
you know,
that's not Eisen's fault. That's mostly just the way Frieren treated him, probably. Because like I mean, one thing that I want to back up to is something that Frieren has said is back when they came back from their journey, right? Like Frieren had made the decision that she was going to go off on her own and just collect stuff. Eisen brought up, and we see this scene multiple times apparently now, like where he's asked her why not take on an apprentice, and then she's like it's just a bothersome thing, like I don't get people, and he's like that's not how relationships work, and she's like that's how they work for me. People usually die, and it's like I feel like maybe she just views Eisen as somebody that will like eventually die before her, and there's no point. There was really no point in trying to get to know him during that adventure, and as a result, Eisen maybe wanted to call her a friend, but he didn't want to jump the gun and just
maybe.
told Stark that they're just acquaintances because that's the safer bet than calling her a friend and to get rejected after the fact. I've had that
It could
happen
be his
before.
way of it could be his way of saying it's complicated.
I don't know. He's kind of young for her, which is wild to say considering how old he is.
Uh-huh.
I get the point. Like, I mean, it seems kind of harsh to call her an acquaintance, but I feel like that may just have a lot to do with her and how they interacted, more than anything, or more than anything, how he viewed her.
Mhm.
Because he seemed to be friendly to her, it just wasn't reciprocated at the time. That's just how I'm choosing to view it. The heck is this?
All right. Um, her reason for doing all this, killing a dragon and getting the grimoire, is because a fool once praised me for the spells I collected. Do you think that's the real reason she's doing this? Because, like, he praised her for it?
She says that's the reason in an episode or two prior. She brings up, because I mean, this is like back when she had told Fern, she was like, this is before he called for real autistic. This is
Mhm.
she was saying that she used to just wander about, do whatever, and only because Himmel complimented on her magic ability did she start collecting to show magic to her friends. I think was the main goal of this, because there was varying images of her doing that, showing a magic spell to her group back when they were adventuring together. So I really do think it was because she was praised. And she thought it was odd. I mean, honestly, it wasn't like she probably felt anything from it. She just thought it was odd because she calls it stupid, and even when Stark says it's stupid, she says the exact same thing. Like, I don't think she sees why Himmel was so enamored of her ability to use magic.
Hmm.
It seemed like so mundane to her, but to Himmel it was something else. Let's fix her character.
Um, I couldn't tell if Frieren either thought very highly of Eisen's judgment, was being very sentimental by allowing Stark to be, or was being very sentimental by allowing Stark to be the person to hold off the dragon, or that she recognized that Stark needed this, or some combination of all three of those things. But I think maybe she did it partially because Himmel asked her to, and partially because um, she recognized that he needed it.
Himmel's dead.
I'm sorry, Eisen.
I think she valued Eisen's judgment because, I mean, to me, it's like she didn't value his judgment. Why even ask him if he's strong? And even Eisen didn't really give her a straightforward answer. All Eisen said
Mhm.
was like, he's like, him and me are like the same person. Like, he ran away from his town at a young age, and so did I. Which is interesting. I really want to know where in the world he used to live. Eisen, I mean, because I would love to know, like if that place is still around. And he taught everything that he knew to Stark, and the only other person that would be able to judge his skill would be Frieren, because she saw him in battle before. So like, to me, I feel like she must value his judgment a great deal enough to let a stranger she never met before in her life bring up the front to help guard her while she uses her magic. And she
Yeah,
even smiled whenever she was talking to him. So I think she values his judgment highly.
I think, it could have just been that she was charmed by the story and it's not deeper than that.
That doesn't make any sense to why she would take him. I mean, like the first, like this is
She
my,
doesn't make sense though. Like a lot. A lot of times she doesn't make sense.
this is the worst time that makes sense because your life's in danger. I'm just saying, like, I feel like she had to value whatever he saw in Stark Because to me, it's like, what's the point in bringing Stark? The first impression, regardless of whatever she saw in him that wasn't being physically shown or whatever like that, his first impression was not good. This guy broke down, was crying and pulling on her leg. You would not, based off of the way Frieren acts, she would not bring somebody like that along with her. That's just like what I know about her. Regardless of whatever she saw, if she didn't value his opinion, there's no point in bringing him along because she would see him as a problem and not a help. What's the point of bringing
That
a
is
guy
fair.
that
That's
is
what she.
crying on your foot? Like seriously, just like
That, that's a good point because that was the reason that she wasn't going to take Fern with her originally. And that was another one of the adventurers that asked her to bring her along. So that makes sense. I think she didn't regret it when she was talking to him though, because she saw the she definitely saw the marks in the chasm. I don't know what to call it. The chasm that he created. And I think she saw that and recognized that was because of him. So I think one way or the other, she decided that she made the right decision.
I don't know. I mean, feel like even with all that, like I'm still gonna fight back on this a little bit, just a tiny bit. Even with that, like he could just have been sitting in front of the chasm. I wouldn't put it past the type of guy he appeared to be. The type of guy he
Mm-hmm.
appeared to be. I wouldn't have put it past him that he just sat up shop right there, and there just happened to be a fisher right behind him, like that. I'm willing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, granted, we know that was not the case, but still, I feel like I wouldn't have put it past him. Like, so that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like she definitely had to have valued his opinion, even bothered to go and talk to him in the first place, regardless of whatever she saw in him. It's like I feel like it's like to me, it's like she's the type of person that wouldn't take somebody on with her if they weren't of benefit. And again, yes, she had to be talking to Tick and Fern, but like, I mean, I don't know. It just feels like to me, it's like I feel like she had to value. If there's one person on that team that she had to have valued, I feel like it would have been him. Second would have been Himmel, but based off the fact that she was crying a lot when he was dying, I feel like maybe she valued Himmel a little bit more. I don't really know. It just seems like
I think she liked Himmel the most, and I think she can personally relate to Eisen the most.
I don't know. If she liked Himmel that much, she should have tried to get to know him as a human being when he was alive, versus regretting
I
him
think I think
him
that's the
dying.
problem. I think she realized her situation after he was dead, because like she didn't start crying until like after the funeral, and she was like, "What is this?" And they're like, "You're grieving," and she's like, "What?" You know what I mean? But I barely knew him. I only knew him for 10 years and the rest of his life. And they're like, "Yeah, that's how it works." You know?
It's the funniest setup for that in a freaking abridged series.
Mm-hmm.
They lower Himmel into the ground and they use some parody music, but then Frieren's like, what's this? What's this salty discharge? You're grieving. What? Oh, this is horrible. What's happening?
Mm-hmm. You've been watching the parody too now?
No,
I
I
thought you
actually
weren't going
haven't.
to watch it.
It was a parody? No, I haven't watched it.
Yeah.
I just thought of a funny situation. Did that actually happen in the freaking parody?
Um. Yeah, something along those lines.
Oh lord, I didn't watch it. I just kind of came up with that on my own.
Oh, okay.
I just thought that just been funny to me because like she's the type of character. Okay, um, yeah, that's just me. I mean, I'm not really fighting quote unquote it too much. It just I don't know. It just feels like to me, I think she values Aizen's opinion because Himmel is nothing more than a fool. Like, well, I will agree that I'm pretty sure she probably realized, yeah, too late that she. My thing, I think Frieren might have had a crush on him, but realized that too late, and when she realized she wasn't going to be able to spend more time with him, that's when she, started crying a lot. But that's just my take. I don't think that's true, but it'd be interesting that was the case. But I don't know. Sorry for taking every time.
Why are you taking up my time? All right, we talked about how we wondered why the dragon didn't attack the town. I thought that line from Eisen was really interesting. About I hope we learn more about it when he said he's a coward who left his home to burn. He's like me. There's two things about that. One, I had just finished saying that Frieren and Eisen have the most in common with each other, but you can see Eisen sort of living in his past too now and saying that like, I'm also trying to make an attempt to um, make up for my past.
Well, I mean, yeah, I agree. I think it's interesting that he said that. I mean, I think I already said something. I'm not sure, like, I'm not gonna repeat what I said, but I think it's something along. I just thought it was interesting because it didn't seem like Eisen was a coward. But I guess now I'm thinking about it, he is hiding his face in his hair. Maybe that's his cowardice. He doesn't want to show his face.
He's not a coward now.
He could still be. I mean, just like it's not one of his defining character traits anymore. Like, I mean, he is hiding his
Yeah.
face in his hair. That's like the most defining character trait he actually has, is that his hair is covering his face. Um,
Mm.
yeah, it was interesting. I would love to know like where he came from, if that town's still around. It's the same thing with Stark. Like, I hope that, like, the Stark. It sounds like maybe his hometown's still there, and it can be saved. I don't know if the same thing can be said about Eisen, because Eisen is living like a hermit by himself. So it's possible where he came from is no longer there, but I don't really know.
Let's see.
Well,
I'm running low on notes now. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was like, he does say that I'll see you again. So we're probably gonna see Eisen again at some point. I can't imagine when, but he said this that we're gonna see him again. It'll probably be right before he dies, but we'll probably see him again.
It seemed like Starks got something a little special with his attack. It seemed like there was more than just a strike going on there, because you could see like quite a large explosion, in my opinion. When from a distance, even, do you know what I mean? When they came over there,
I think it was just the
like
way
from
they
a distance
animated it.
at 23:30, there was like an explosion that like lit up the night. You know what I mean? And it seemed like there might be some sort of fighter technique that is a little bit beyond what we know. We already know that Eisen can do some supernatural things, like um I don't know, like walk on water, for example, seemed pretty supernatural. They one-shotted some pretty big enemies. That seemed pretty big.
I mean, I commented on the saying that I think it's just the way they animated it. I mean, I did take note the fact that like when Fern walks up and he's done with his last attack, there is like a light red magma almost like thing that's left behind, but that cools off immediately. So I don't know if that's a permanent thing. And then I didn't say much about the light. I completely forgot the light that he shoots off, but I don't know. I feel like that's just the way they like to animate things in this show. I can't say for certain. I mean, I'm only really saying this because I know very little about this guy. I've only heard his name a couple times and I've seen his face elsewhere. I just don't know what he's capable of. But like off that little bit, like I can't sit there and say for certain that there's nothing special going on with him. But at the same time, I don't know. It just seems like not that he isn't special, but he just seems like they needed a warrior and he's the guy. Maybe there is something special about him and I'm not aware of. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he does have a mark on his face. Even though he's never killed anything, he claims that the mark on his face is from a shadow dragon. So either he's lying about that or he was really attacked by a shadow dragon.
I believe he was attacked by a dragon. Maybe like he didn't kill it, but maybe he's like had a run-in with that dragon, a second one or something that we're going to learn more about.
But he called it shadow dragon, so I don't even really know. I mean, if Frieren calls that child's play, I don't know. Like there's something really interesting. Like, I don't know why she would call that child's play unless shadow dragons aren't that powerful. Or maybe she was insinuating people who get attacked by those things don't live, and Stark somehow lived.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I can't sit there and say for certain like the way they animated it doesn't mean there's something special with his axe swing, but I just kind of attributed the way that it looked just because they wanted to animate it very bombastic. They wanted to get you intrigued with him before they did anything real serious with him.
Yeah, but I think he might be way more powerful than he thinks he is.
I mean, we'll
What do you
see.
think?
I'm not gonna argue against it. I just
Mm.
got to. I'm just taking what I'm seeing literally as a visual thing and nothing more. Because like the magic is already very like highly detailed and like in this world. I can't imagine like if that is not, if that axe swing is literally, it doesn't really look like that and he's got something special going on. I want to know why and I want to know now. But I mean, for right now, I'm just taking in what I'm seeing visually, and it's like, yeah, it looks like it could be supernatural, but I'm gonna hold my thought on that until I see more of it later. I'm
Yeah.
just taking it as he's a really strong guy, and that's how they chose to animate a axe swing from him until I see otherwise. Just like until I like, I'm choosing to just remain very mild about it.
As an ending thought, like, how do you feel about um, the episode in general right now?
You mean this episode, how we where we are right now with the show?
Yeah.
I like it. I mean, I got no real complaints. I know they're choosing to like. I mean, we now have like. I'm glad that we now have. I'm glad we got to this point now after we got a. Hey, Alazabar, did you raid me? I just didn't get a notification. Probably did. Happens a lot. Um, my thought has stopped. Oh no, there it is. Uh, um, I like what I see. Like, I'm glad that hey XLG. I swear, did we get rated and I didn't see that?
XLD versus Adam and one of them won't survive.
Hey XLG, can you check to see if you're friends with Spear in your list of friends? I'm trying to do you a favor here. um, had a thought. Lost it again. I don't know. I like the show. I'm very interested to see where they're gonna go. I guess what I want to say, like, I'm glad that we now have like at least it seems like we have a plot for a season. Whether we get to that point, I don't think we're gonna get to. I feel like the way that they kind of like worded that this place is a place that people call heaven as your friends list, as like a place that people go to, and it's what people call heaven. I feel like it's gonna be the last thing that we see in the show. I mean, it's gonna be the end of the show. I saw that there's a lot of arcs between now and whatever because the thing is still going. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
yes, on Discord. Um, and it sounds like the show is still going. So I don't know. Like I don't even know if they get to. I didn't really look too much into it. I just happened to see there's a list of like story arcs. I don't think they're gonna get to this place before the show is over. I mean, until the show's over. So there's gonna be a lot of like seasons in between that gather, um, that show us their adventures through until they get um, to where Frieren's trying to get to. And I suspect the freaking show will end after we see him on the hill, and I'll probably piss some people off. But I mean, it sounds like this is where they're going. Is that place is where they're going to end the show. But I like it. I like it so far. I got no real complaints. I want to see more. That's my only real complaint. Again, I'm still in this disbelief that if I had started this watching this as just a side thing I wanted to watch, I would have been further and done by now probably. Because like just to let you know, they confirmed a season 3 for this show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know when it's. I don't even know when season 2 is over.
Yeah, the people that made the show must have loved the fact that like the main character never grows old or dies. Like, yeah, like so we can make like episodes of this for like the rest of the world.
Now, are they're going to
Yeah.
make episodes for the rest of the world? I'm just like trying. What I'm trying to get you to do, XOG, is like that movie that you showed us and all that thing. I don't know if you still have the file, but I was like, Spear would like to see it. It's really all I'm really getting at. It's unfortunate because he probably could have been there to watch it with us, but I guess he wasn't a part of
Why
Discord.
won't you hook me up, Buttercup?
Yeah, but like if you still have the file, you could probably send. Hopefully, you could send it to Spear through Discord. If not, maybe you could set up some like Dropbox thing and send it to him that way. I hope anyway. What time is it? 11:17. We are again very early. Maybe this is for the best.
Well, it's there's only so much to say about these episodes.
Yeah, I'll just.
So much of the episode is them just kind of chilling, right?
I mean,
it's a great show, but like, there's a lot of chill.
Yeah, I know there's fights, like heavy fight scenes. I haven't seen any of them, but I know there's a lot of them. A lot of versus fights. I don't know when those show up. That's been the one thing I've been kind of curious about, is like how they're going to roll in antagonists, because it doesn't seem like so far we haven't seen one. Like a lot of the fights that we've seen our characters in have been just with ordinary monsters, but it sounds like at least like they can't keep on with the ordinary monster thing for too long before it gets boring. They'll need to spread it out, in between bigger threats. But I don't know who. I mean, Frien's at the end of her journey, so I don't know who the heck they would even introduce. There's a girl in the intro after they show Flame, and I had mistook that girl for Flame, but that's not her. I don't know who that is. Like then she had an evil look in her eye too, so I'm suspect that she's gonna be the villain for this season. But I don't know. That's just my my theory, is like she's like whoever that girl is that we're seeing in the intro that is not Flame is gonna be the villain, because she had a really messed up look in her face, like very evil, like I'm gonna do something, hee hee. Look in her eyes.
I could see that. The next episode is definitely focused on our hero Stark, though, since the name of the episode is Hero of the Village.
Based off of that, since we're going to get more information about the village that he left, which is cool. Again, love Stark, love Fern, love Frieren. I don't have a disdain for any of these characters, which is always a good sign for a show. I'm waiting for XOG to see if the link still works. He's checking to see if the link still works. Yeah, else I could say while we're waiting for him.
XLG has hooked me up.
Oh, he gave it to you?
Yep. Okay. And actually, and added me as a friend too.
Oh, cool. I'm glad I was able to be of service, even if it was just a internet hookup.
Service me, daddy.
And with that, we're gonna see you see you guys. Well, see you guys with Spear for sure this Thursday. Next week we'll have the podcast, unless next Monday is Easter Monday. Are you busy?
Easter Monday, then even the morning after Easter? I think I'm not busy.
Okay, so we'll be back next week for Monday, like usual. But we'll also do like Thursday for more Metroid. See where that takes us. And then
I bet nowhere. I bet it takes us nowhere.
I'm doing my best. I can only do so much. And later on this week be Resident Evil as I try to work my way through that game. Capcom, you've outdone yourself. All right, good night, everybody.
Good night.